One of the most common questions I get from beginners is how do I add depth to my sketches? Well, I'm going to show you some simple ways to do that using different types of washes and shadows. Now, if you're looking broadly at the color wheel, on the left, we have the cool colors. So that's all the colors on the left that are towards blue. And then on the right, we have the warmer colors where all the colors are leaning more towards yellow and red. So does that mean that all blues are considered cool and all reds are considered warm? Well, not exactly. If we go into a set of colors like green, even though they're also more on the left side, there is a cooler green towards a blue and a warmer green towards a yellow. But warm and cool colors can also be used to describe an object. A plant just like this, you can use those warm and cool colors as well to describe the object and give it a bit of depth. And this is because we can use the warm colors to show where the light is coming from. And let's sketch this plant here. Very simply, we're just going to go around that shape of the leaves first. So it doesn't have to be accurate in any way, it's just some random lines here zigzagging back and forth. It's actually good practice for you for your loose lines. I'm not trying to go around individual leaves, just that sort of general shape. The branch going down here, or what do you call that? Base here, around a little oval around the bottom, roughly, and then straight down the sides and then a little curve on the bottom. So now with beginners, I've seen a lot just choosing one green and just painting that whole section green, and then a dark brown, and then a dark blue. So that's where the flatness comes from. So let's have a go at doing a variegated wash. This is using that warm and cool colors to create a bit of depth, showing which direction the sun is coming from. So looking at my colors that I have in my palette, I have the cool green and a warm green. So I'm going to start with the warm green at the top and slowly mix in some cooler Viridian green down to the bottom here. Sap green. And we still like to try and capture a few highlights, like reflections off the leaves. So you can leave little gaps between here. And the best way to do that is if you have your holding your brush really high. And so I'm adding in a bit of Viridian green. Now let's continue it down. You can see it's blending. This is part of the variegated wash. And as we go down, I'm going to add even more. So now it's much brighter. And now continue that down to there. We can see the light. It comes from the top, the warm, and curves around the front to the back. I'll put the burnt umber here. So let's just put Payne's Grey without touching. You can leave a gap. Still in my light layer. Same for the bottom with ultramarine, and then add that across. Now while those are drying, let's add a very light background. So once again, I'm going to add some yellow ochre, but water it down a lot. Put that around here without touching, leave lots of white gaps. A bit more expressive, emotional. I guess it is a little bit. Some Payne's Grey, and that'll be a warm grey now. So all my colors here, I'm aiming to be in this light transparency, the value, light value, so that I've got room to move up to the higher values. I'm going to let that dry and then we'll do our second layer. Now in our second layer we add that medium value, so not the strongest that we can make, but just the middle value. And that could be by either adding darker greens, darker blue here, or if you've got lots of different colors here and a shadow, we're just going to add a shadow. That's going to be our medium value. With this shadow here, I'm going to add ultramarine into the palette and then change that to be a little bit purple by adding some permanent rose. We just want to show where that shadow is here. So I'm just going to do a few strokes across this bottom section, but not right to the edge. So it still has a bit of that 3D form. Just going to go through there like that. There's a bit of a shadow on the top of the trunk there. I don't want it to be too dark on the wall because it's a very light wall. Going around here, around where I think the plant would be. On this section here, there's like the shadow of the trunk going down and then across to the pot. And we have a shadow under the pot on the left side of the pot because the sun is on the right there, the top right. So you can see with that second layer, now it's dry, we have quite a nice value increase there with that second layer. It's glazed on top. We want to add contrast, and once again, this isn't a flat shape. We want it to come out a little bit in the middle. So that's why we're going to put some darker contrast here now in the middle there. And we had Viridian green here, so you could add a little bit more ultramarine into it. So you can just put a few darker little dots. It doesn't have to be too much. So we have the light, the medium and the dark. The trunk, I'm going to put a little bit in the middle too. Just here on this side here where you want it to come forward a little bit more. So there are 3 layers, but we can still add some highlights, so let's let that dry. So to extend that range of contrast, now we've got the dark spots, let's add some more whiter spots. Where the sun's coming this way, it would hit these edges here, but we've managed to add in a few highlights, or in my sketch, the little gaps. So you can add a few more glints on the leaves that will be happening from there. Even sometimes for reflected light, there's a little few leaves in the dark that are I'm doing different directions that stick out, and that's nice in the dark to have a little bit of white. So that's my process again, adding depth to your sketch using those 3 layers, but this time we used a bit of warm and cool colors on the top here. The warmth of the top of the plant to the cool, that still gives a little bit of depth and shows you where the sun is coming from. And now we're going to move on to shadows. So shadows are a very important way for you to add depth to your sketches. I think for this simple style where we're quickly covering the sketch with lots of different colors and they're very small, if you were to try and create a special color for each shadow on all the different sections, it would be very tricky and time consuming. For example, if you can see some of my sketches here, I have a group of people and they're very small on my page and they've got lots of different colors. Instead of creating a different shadow color for say his blue shirt and the green bag and his pants, I've just chosen one color that works quite well across all different colors, which is my sort of purple mix. It crosses all of the different colors there, and I can just add that shadow on very quickly right down to the floor where they're standing. So in some cases, with some buildings, I use ultramarine, just pure ultramarine, but this is my default here. This is the one I've been using lately as my default to use that. That works for most things. So now we're going to do an exercise using the shadows, and to make an object that you might not think could be 3D into a 3D object, give it a bit of depth. So we'll do 2 sketches here. The left one, the first one will be a simple version, and the second one will be a bit more advanced using some of the techniques from before. So on your page, sketch a square. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just practice your loose lines here. Draw a square like that. Then we're coming in and you can draw a border. So you could even draw little dots at the same distance going in first and then link them up roughly. Now we're going to give this frame a bit of depth just in the sketch. Come in from this corner here just a little bit, put a dot. So just diagonally across, and now draw that same horizontal line and a vertical line. Now the angle that we did there, just going down, we're also going to come down this way, like that. I got that same distance we had there, just at a 45-degree angle, just going down there and across here. Now at an angle, link those up. So they all should be roughly the same there. So now we've got a frame. Now another sketch here, we're going to make another rectangle. See, my lines are very wonky. Now inside once again, you can just do that roughly and then do another rectangle. Now this time, instead of what we have here, let's just go in here and put another rectangle. So we've got 3 rectangles this time. Now I'm going to show you how I would approach both of these. This is the simpler one, and this is actually the harder one because we're looking straight at this. How do you make that look like it has depth? We're going to use our shadows and our washes and our layers for both of these. So let's start off with this first one here, and we're going to use that permanent rose. And this is our first layer, so it's the lightest layer. So we're looking for something around this lighter end of the value so that we can add some darker later. And I'm just looking here for a flat wash. So nothing's too fancy, we're just painting it in the whole object like that. I chose this because a lot of times I'm sketching a box or a shape it's in 3D, and I've helped you do that. And then when you paint it in, it's easy to paint over the whole thing and then just leave it and it's flat. And if you were to leave it like that, it wouldn't have that depth. We wouldn't see the depth. We need to do something to this to give it the depth. So I've let that completely dry. Now we're going to add our second layer of shadows. Often if you're sketching something from a photo or from real life, sometimes the shadows aren't so obvious. If they're not obvious, then I would choose a direction. So this way I'm going to choose the top left, set that as the light, and make sure that if anything on the object is close to the light, it's lighter, and anything hidden behind a surface. So this little surface here is behind a ledge. So that would have shadow. And this edge here would have shadow as well behind this edge because the light couldn't get to there because it's blocked by this part of the object sticking out. Now let's get our shadow color. So I'm going to use my favorite shadow color at the moment, the default color, ultramarine, permanent rose. Now think of the shadow coming from here. This is our medium value. It'll change when I overlap, glaze on top of the pink. It'll make it a darker value. So I'm going to come across the top and then onto the wall as well. So just leave that little bit there, and also down here and onto the wall as well. But you can see there that pink now is a bit darker. Now on this side the sun will come, it'll have that shadow around that edge. So we're going on that edge there, but also out from the wall, on the wall a little bit. So we're coming down and down this way too. That edge would be all in shadow. It's blocked from the light right to the corner there. Now with only that one layer, we've given that object a bit of depth. We can let that dry again. Now we come to the third layer of depth. So we're going to add some more permanent rose back in there. So I'm adding some saturated permanent rose there. I'm going to, for the sake of this simple object that we're doing, add in a pink, darker pink area here and here, because that's where our darkest areas are. So that'll add even more depth. And then to give it a little bit more interest, because we're doing this very simple flat wash, I'm going to add in some dark texture across there. So that just means a few dots like that, one up there, and then banging it on my finger, and tapping it on my finger. Just one little bit there, there around. So more down the bottom because that's further away from the light. So that's how I'd add depth to this very simple object that we did. You can see it's sticking off the wall there. Now we move on to this one here. We've just got 3 concentric rectangles. So we're going to use a graded wash here. Thinking where the light's coming from, we'll start it with the top left again. So this front surface here, we want that to stick out, and we want this middle one here to recess in. So starting from the top of this surface, this is affected by this light. We're going to add this up the top. And we'll do half of that space we've got there. And also this middle section, so we'll skip this one in between because that is going to be angled in a different direction. We're going to do it in here as well because it's on the same plane of light there. Now we're going to add a bit more saturation, so start adding saturation to your paint. So now it's, because of the saturation, it has more value. Now we're bringing that down. Here, start bringing it down further. Again down to the bottom, so now add even more saturation. Pink's going everywhere, splatting everywhere. So now we're adding depth to this simple 3 little rectangles with this graded wash because we're telling the viewer where the light's coming from, so it has a little bit more interest in depth than this one. But now this little surface here, we want to make this middle bit look like it's pushed back, like a recess, like a door, like in a door, paneled door. So thinking about the light again, if the light's coming from here and there's this edge here blocking the light, this part here would actually be the darkest, and more light would be hitting this back edge because the light would be coming in, and that edge there would be angling towards the light more. And you can leave a bit of white gaps, but start with now more saturated paint here in the corner. Coming around the top here. Now wash your brush, and we just want a very light paint now. We're almost just using plain water, bringing it down. So wash your brush and take it out so it's very light in that bottom corner. And because we're thinking about lighting, now this actually looks like a panel in a door where that rectangle in the middle is pushed in. Now let's add the shadows as our second layer. So we can use the same shadows as before. Now here we don't have an edge like this one, but I can imply that it's sitting a bit off the wall by jumping down a little bit. So the sun will be coming this way. So that means there'll be a little bit of an angle here, and you can start the shadow lower and come down on the side. And on this side too, if the sun's coming this way, there might be a little bit of an angle there. So it's a little bit to the right. And then let's make that shape. So now we've got this shape sitting off the wall. And then again, so the sun's coming this way, so we need a little bit more value in there. So I'm going to add a shadow from that edge that will be blocking the light, and then down here. So now this section here has a lot more value because we've used that second layer. There's a glazed layer across there. And that really starts to push that back, doesn't it? And so now it's nice and dry, we can add that third layer with the permanent rose again. A little hint there to make it darker. And then here, not so much this time, just a little bit more there. A few little dots to make it interesting, maybe in this corner here. But you definitely don't need as much with this sort of method. Could still add some texture. In terms of the pen with a highlight to increase that range, if you don't have a line here, I've got a bit of a highlight because I left a gap, and that's an important part of adding the layers, is leaving gaps so that you've got these natural highlights which extend that contrast. So you can just add, if you don't have any along there, some reflections on the edges because the sun would come this way, and hit this edge here. So that's the important edge here to have a highlight. So in conclusion, the best ways to add depth to your sketches is to use layers from light to dark. We've got 3 different layers. The second way is by using warm to cool colors, like in this sketch here, we have warm to cool colors there. And the third way is by using shadows. So we've got the shadows here, and thinking about the lighting on your sketch in general. And that'll help bring something that's very flat to bring it to life and give it depth. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and these simple exercises. This tutorial is actually part of a much larger tutorial that I made for my Patreon members, answering a whole lot of questions that they had on color. We even go into color theory, the color wheel, how I choose my colors, and how to mix colors and what not to do, and a whole lot more theory before going into these exercises. So if you're interested in doing that, it's over on my Patreon membership, and you'll get the full tutorial and all the support documents that go with it. Plus, you have access to my whole library of tutorials and my fundamental lessons there that go along with this one. And you can post your sketch in the community, really warm and friendly community, and ask me any question. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.